John Harbaugh was asked about the Ravens secondary going into this week against Cleveland. He also talked a little bit about their performance against Tampa, in particular the fourth quarter. I'm going to play you the clip in just a second. Before I do that, welcome to Flock Talk, your home for all things Baltimore Ravens football. If you're a Ravens fan and you just love hearing about your Baltimore Ravens all the time, this is the channel for you. Take a second, like the video, subscribe. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. That was the goal we set before the season, and we're getting closer and closer, but I need all of you watching this to hit subscribe and help me get there. But enough of that. The Ravens secondary has been no secret that they have, the defense as a whole, I guess, has been a little lackluster at times. Not always, and they have improved through the season, but the fourth quarter showing against Tampa certainly, for me, was not encouraging, and I think there's probably a lot of other fans that feel the same way. John Harbaugh was asked about this, and this is what he had to say.
Coach, after watching the tape, what did you see from the secondary against Tampa Bay? Did you see any improvements there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I saw a lot of things in there, but I saw some big plays. I saw a lot of yards after 7 minutes in the fourth quarter. I mean, I think it was 200 yards in the last 7 minutes, so it kind of changes the dynamic. The way I look at it, any play we make that doesn't get us in that place, offense, special teams, and defense, and it never even goes down that road. The game's over. And that's the way it would have been played the last 7 or 8 minutes. So, that's on us, though. You got to close people out. We played a great football game after. I was really happy with the fact that the way we handled the momentum. I mean, you're going in Monday Night Football, hot football team, excited crowd, place is going crazy, and they jump out to a 2-score lead. Just keeping them from going 14-0 was something, Then they go back down the field again, and Marlon puts a stop to it, momentum-wise, with your favorite word, momentum. Puts a stop to it with the interception, right? And then our offense, so we go down, we score 6 straight times on offense, we come up with 6 straight stops on defense. So that's impressive. What we like to do is make the play or so at the end that finishes the game. We did eventually, but anywhere along the way it could have changed that, and that's really where most of those yards came from.
Now, look, unless this is your first, week or two being a Ravens fan, this is not uncommon in the sense that the Ravens habitually give up more points and yards in the fourth quarter than any other quarter, and this has been a trend for several years that I have complained about. The thing is, I think for the first 3 quarters this was the best showing from this Ravens defense, potentially. The Buffalo game, sure, but let's be honest, Buffalo's offense is not that good. Josh Allen does not have any weapons, so I guess that would be the best complete performance, sure. But this was a game that I felt like that Tampa could challenge the Ravens secondary. Unfortunately, Mike Evans went out after picking up almost his second touchdown of the game. Had he not gotten hurt or re-aggravated his hamstring injury, he probably would have caught that. So you hate to see that. You hate to see a player like Mike Evans, or anybody for that matter, get hurt. Same goes for Chris Godwin. Wish a speedy recovery for both those guys. But the game changed a little bit after Mike Evans went out, and Marlon Humphrey came up the following drive and made a massive interception. And Marlon Humphrey I think he has 4 of the 5 Ravens interceptions, if I'm not mistaken. So he's playing lights out in the back end. So credit to him. If it was not for him making those huge plays, the game may have gone a different direction, because Tampa was on the verge of making it possibly 17-7, at least 13-7, and he stopped Tampa's offensive momentum, which is fantastic. The problem is, like I said, they played good for 3 quarters of the game. They got after the initial drive where they got absolutely punched in the mouth, they responded and held them to a field goal. The second drive, like I said, that was the one Mike Evans dropped the ball in the end zone. And then the third drive is when Marlon Humphrey made that huge play in the end zone, which really changed the game, in my opinion. After that, I think they got 6 straight stops, if I'm not mistaken, which is huge. That's great. In a game like this, on the road, Monday night, you get 6 straight stops, and then give Lamar and that offense that many chances is a recipe for success. The problem is the Ravens have such a hard time closing out games. And we saw it yet again. When you're up 34-10 in the fourth quarter, I have no idea why the score needed to be 41-31. That team should not have sniffed 30 points when you held them to 10 the entire game. Am I saying they needed to shut them out? No. But when you give up 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, that's not good. Baker Mayfield finished with almost 400 yards passing. I don't even know how many of that came in the fourth quarter. Probably at least close to half. 3 scores, like I said, and made it a game. The Ravens field, or the special teams, fielding the onside kicks, needs some work. They need to figure out whatever's going on there because there's only been 2 onside kicks recovered in the entire league this season, and both of them have been against the Ravens, and the other one was in the Cowboys game, which was eerily similar to this game, where they played really well for 3 quarters. In the fourth quarter, the defense started letting up big plays. I keep hearing, people keep putting them in the comment section of these videos that the Ravens defense is way better than the stats are showing. I'm not denying that. I think talent-wise, they absolutely are. I think they are, talent-wise, one of the most talented defenses in the league. But when you get in the fourth quarter, and what people keep saying is, well, because you're leading, it's making teams pass more. And that's a legitimate argument. But in those situations, that's when the Ravens need to, you always hear the term, pin their ears back in the pass rush and go get to the quarterback. That's what the great defenses do. And the Ravens have a decent pass rush, but they do not have that dominant pass rusher that can just pin his ears back and go get the quarterback in these situations. When you know it's a passing situation, you should be harassing that quarterback in an ideal situation. Kyle Van Noy is good. He's, I think, the best pass rusher on this team. Obviously, Madubuike up the middle is productive, but I wish they would go before the trade deadline and get a guy that can consistently get to the quarterback. That's what I would love to see, because I think that would make such a massive difference on this defense and help the secondary, especially in these fourth quarters when you are leading. That way, it doesn't give the quarterback as much time to sit back there and throw the ball. And to add to that argument of, well, the Ravens defense is better than the 31st ranked, because that's what they are. How many blown cover? There was multiple blown coverages in that fourth quarter. The one that comes to mind is when White for Tampa just trotted into the end zone. And that's when Ed Reed on the Manning cast said, this is not a championship level defense. And he's exactly right. Am I panicking and saying this is going to be a long-term issue? No. They're 7 games in. You have 10 games remaining in the regular season. You have time to figure it out. But they need to figure it out. The fourth quarter, if they could just finish games, they would be A-okay in my book. I was really happy with what I saw the first 3 quarters. To me, they are getting better. They are showing improvement. And I think they just need to fine-tune some things. I would like to see them get that dominant pass rusher that would tremendously help this defense. I truly, truly believe that. I hope they make a move and get somebody who can help Kyle Van Noy on the other end and have a mad sprint to the quarterback. I like Odafe. He's shown flashes, but he's still not that dominant guy that I think would tremendously benefit this Baltimore Ravens defense. That's kind of where I'm leaning, that the Ravens need to add a piece. Secondary-wise, I think they have the talent. They just need that consistent pass rush to close games out in the fourth quarter. That's my opinion on it. I think they are getting better. Obviously, playing Cleveland is not going to be should not be a huge measuring stick for this defense. If they are not dominant for a team that I don't think has scored 20 points this season, if I'm not mistaken, we might have some problems. Now watch, if the Ravens go out and lose, I'm going to have Browns fans in the comments to this video talking smack. Rightfully so if they do. But let me know what you guys think. What do you think of John Harbaugh's comments? What do you think the Ravens need to do to tighten up this defense? Do you think they need to do something different scheme-wise? Do you think they need to add a more dominant pass rusher? Do you think they need to add another corner? I keep hearing people complain about guys like Brandon Stevens or Marcus Williams. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys think the Ravens need to do to tighten up and get this thing fixed going forward? Because the offense is playing as well or maybe better than any other offense in the league at this particular moment. They look unstoppable with Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and the rest of this unit playing as well as they are. So let me know in the comments what they need to do. Thank you all for tuning into this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a huge like. Subscribe if you're new. All we do is talk about your favorite team, the Baltimore Ravens. And I will see you all in the next video. Go Ravens.